guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh Allah.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Let's Talk, my personal soapbox. I think I should change the name of this program to Real Talk because we're talking about some really important issues with some really important guests, and we're hitting them with the 1-2 punch. Let's Talk viewers pulse, and don't forget the Ummah tonight, which is the knockout blow, inshallah. We're talking about, in this program, inshallah, this episode, youth activism. We're talking about engaging and empowering the youth. And what better guest to talk about that with than the founders, the co-founders of e-Youth, an organization based in Egypt post-Arab Spring that has helped put in this country, Egypt, in a more positive direction by empowering and engaging and employing the Egyptian youth. So let's talk about that in the broader context of youth activism across the world in general. So I would like, without any further ado, to welcome my two distinguished guests. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, brothers. Brother Ahmed Omar Afifi and Brother Ala Ubaida. Thank you for joining me, both of you guys. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for hosting us today.
And before you introduce yourselves and introduce e-Youth and what it's about and the Facebook pages and everything, let's greet our studio audience as well. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. How are you? Brother, I think it's your first time on Let's Talk, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, brother, what's your name and where are you from?
Abdullah Amir, third-year student, Al-Azhar student.
Oh, great.
Studying translation.
Okay, great. So, brother, what about activism? Did you ever volunteer for an organization? Did you do any stuff like that before? Go ahead. Tell us about
for
it.
sure. Like, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been engaging myself in the community.
Right.
I think volunteering is not kind of you to do it. It's necessary. It's a must for you.
Yeah.
We should take part. We should be positive in your community by doing what? By helping people. If you know language, if you know science, if you can help with your effort, money, donating blood, anything.
Yeah.
It's necessary. It's a must, not a kind of you.
That's great what you said. So you can look at whatever skills you possess and try to benefit the people around you.
For sure.
What do you think your country, Egypt, okay, for example, what do you think it needs right now? What do you think the youth can do to help benefit this country and to help it go in a positive direction?
Okay, I'll tell you something. This is my own opinion. I think that we don't have something called people are kind of complaining. We don't have jobs or we don't have work. We don't have jobs. We don't have. We have a lot. We have a lot, really a lot. But unfortunately, we're not qualified for them. So what I'm doing now is we need to qualify those students before graduating. I'll tell you something. After graduation, they're not getting anything. They spend 1 or 2 years, maybe taking courses, searching for job, or qualifying themselves, taking interview skills, CV writing, all these things. What about doing this, but before graduation?
Right.
Right after graduation, you will have a job right after your graduation.
Right, yeah.
So what we're doing now is qualifying those youth to be qualified right after graduation to have a job, just right away, 1 or 2 months. That's it.
I think that would benefit all the people all around the world. I know the students in America, not just Egypt, all around the world, they would benefit from this kind of idea. I know when I graduated college, I didn't know what to do afterwards. I didn't have anything prepared.
Yes.
Yeah. Brother, thank you. I appreciate it. If you could pass the mic over to this brother as well and introduce yourself. Thank you for coming back for another episode, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
I'm Nabil from Egypt.
Brother Nabil, what do you think about Egypt? What can the youth do to become active and help benefit their country? And we're using Egypt as a case study for the entire world.
Yeah. For Egypt, in Egypt case now, I think we need planning and administration. That's most needed right now. So we must know our situation and plan for the future.
Okay.
On a good basis,
But give me something specific that the youth can do to benefit this country.
To start working.
Yeah.
My brother said now, working voluntarily, even voluntarily.
Right.
You must have your certain rule to do.
Yeah.
Teaching people, donating, helping with your effort.
Yes.
Giving away something, whatever you can do, you must do something.
Yeah.
Start doing something. Start working. Something.
Yeah, we have to benefit our community. I know one brother came from America. He speaks English fluently, obviously. So what he did from time to time, he just teaches kids English for free, small children, because he wants to benefit his community, and that's the skill that he has to share.
That's nice.
So that's very good, I thought. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. If you can hand it back to this brother over here. Go ahead, brother. Alaikum salam, brother. You're a very young man. I can tell. How old are you?
18.
Okay, that's great. It's perfect for our topic. So what do you want to do? What have you done, and what would you like to do to benefit this country?
Well, this is kind of complicated.
what can I do?
But that's the question. Yeah, you can help people speak English because you speak English fluently, or you can join like an organization to do certain things. Or actually, maybe today the brothers will tell you about e-youth, and perhaps you can join e-youth, inshallah.
Sure. Maybe.
Okay, thank you so much, brother, for your time. And before I get to you guys in the back, if you just give me 1 second to interview our guest here, inshallah. Brother Ahmed, first start, and Brother Ala, if you guys can tell me a little bit about yourselves, and a little bit about, before we get into e-youth, when did the beginning phases of e-youth start? How did you guys meet? When did you begin playing in e-youth?
Sure.
Before the revolution or after the revolution, etc. Go ahead, brother.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum. This is Ahmed Omar Afifi. I'm a computer engineering and systems engineer, graduated from Ain Shams University, and I'm a co-founder in e-youth.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And how about you, brother?
I am Ala Ubaida. I'm studying medicine at Cairo University.
Oh, great.
I'm the founder and coordinator of e-youth initiative.
Okay. And how did you guys meet? You were friends before e-youth?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, we met in a conference together, and we shared some ideas and talks, and so we found that we have a common goal that we need to work on together.
Okay. And what was this conference? When was it? Where was it?
Actually, it was in one of the conferences for the skills, building skills, and so.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, and it was in December 2010.
Yes, exactly.
Before the revolution, actually.
And you guys are pretty. I mean, you're active. How old are you, brother?
I'm 24.
And
23.
And you guys, this is a good to show the young people at home. You guys are young, professional, and active, and doing positive things.
Yeah.
So before the revolution, what in December, January? The revolution was January 25th.
January 25th.
So when did you guys really want to launch e-youth?
Well, actually, the idea started to come together, and the real talk started in December 2010. So
Okay.
before the revolution, actually.
Right before.
Yeah.
So then when did it go into effect? When did you? Because the revolution changed everything, right? Everything
Yeah,
stopped in the
exactly.
country, right?
Exactly.
And like after the revolution, we decided that we need to keep going and we need to keep planning and do the project, inshallah. In May 2011, we won the grant. It was an international competition.
So this is I'm sorry, brother. January, February, March, April. So just 4 months after the revolution began,
after the
brother.
revolution,
Yes,
yes.
exactly.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You won the grant.
We won the grant to apply the project to start the initiative.
Who was giving the grant? And how did you apply
It
for
was
it?
an international competition. It's called the Alumni Engagement Innovation Grant, and it's an annual competition. And we applied more than 800 projects applied as well internationally, and only 37 projects around the world won the grant. And
MashaAllah.
just one was.
So what was your technique? I mean, how you had a strong application, I guess.
Yes, it's a strong proposal. It's like maybe about 20 pages,
Yeah.
and
mashallah,
it's
great.
very detailed.
We have to
And-
describe the idea very well in each details, and we have to put a timeline for each and every stage
Okay.
in details.
And a
actually,
budget?
The
exactly,
budget for
we have to
details,
put a full budget for
Subhanallah.
the.
So how did you guys have the skills to do that stuff?
You know, I started my extracurricular activities since 2004.
Okay.
I was just 14 years old. I started
Mashallah.
building like the simple skills at the beginning, and later on I learned leadership skills and budgeting and so on.
Okay.
So I already had enough skills and enough knowledge, prior knowledge to start writing
Yeah.
such a proposal. And
Right.
Ahmed as well has like
Yeah, me
Had that
actually as
great
well as
experience.
working in the extracurricular activities since the school age, before
Okay.
even the
High
university.
school, university.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. So we have been used to this kind of activities, and by
Great.
time, as Allah said, we got the leadership skills and the
Right.
budgeting ideas and the timelining configuration and
But this
so.
is something challenging for professional adults, and that's what the brother was saying. So the audience,
yes.
you have to learn these skills before you graduate. So excellent point.
Exactly.
So you get the application in, you get accepted. Now
Yes.
this is May 2011. So now what?
Now we need to start the first step of e-youth, which is the survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a survey to know. It targeted two main issues.
Okay.
The first one is social entrepreneurship skills, and the second one is democratic lifestyle.
Okay.
Not discussing the politics, but discussing like the lifestyle and decision making in the house, in the community, and in school, and so on.
Exactly.
And this step, like more than 1,000 people participated in around the all over Egypt. Most of them were Cairo and Alexandria.
Okay.
But later on, the 1,200 applicants, we analyzed the survey results, and
Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
okay,
You had 1,200 surveys
exactly
Yes.
that you distributed mainly in Cairo and Alex.
in Cairo and Alex and other governments. as
Okay,
well.
other
Yes.
And you conducted it via email?
It was an online survey and they printed out.
Okay.
So like maybe around 400 hard copies, and the other part is soft
Okay.
copy.
And then you collected all this. You and
Yes.
Brother Ahmed
Yes,
collected all
yes.
this. and then you begin looking at the results.
Actually, it's a big team. At that
It's a whole
time,
team.
yes, it was 35 people working
Oh.
in e-youth at that
Well,
moment.
right now,
yes.
actually, on the organizational level, we have like 50 volunteers working with us as the
MashaAllah.
organizational committee.
Okay.
And before going into the other stages of e-youth, I would like to like point out at the main idea of e-youth.
Right.
E-youth actually is talking about as it comes, it's engaging and empowering Egyptian youth. So we need to engage the Egyptian youth first, and then empower them to do some
Something
social
positive.
something positive, exactly, with the projects and so. So we're targeting people from the age of 15 to 21 years old, and this is for two reasons. The first reason is that from 15 to maybe 18 or 19, this is the school age, and from maybe 20 and 19 to 21, this would be the freshman or the first 2 years in the university. So we wanted to make the two minds meet together and discuss ideas together, and we benefit from both sides. And the second reason for this group age is that that the personality is actually, and the character is formed at this stage. So we needed to target this actually stage and focus on, so that we come out with empowered Egyptian youth.
Yeah, I agree, because at that age, this is the future. I just turned 31 years old. I mean, who's counting? But I feel like an old man. I'm already stubborn.
Exactly.
I'm already stuck in my ways. So that's going to keep them while they're young and to affect the future.
Exactly.
So, brother, going back to the survey.
Yeah.
You collected the results, you and 35 people.
Yes.
And maybe we can talk about what questions were asked in the survey, and how many questions were there.
It's about 35 questions.
And talking generally about the concept of a democratic process in social life.
Yes.
Accepting other people's opinions, this sort of thing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you collected the results. What were the results?
You know, it was like a scale
Okay.
from like 1 to 10.
Okay.
And we started developing like a graph to see like most of our youth locating in which part of the graph. And most of them like were from 4 to 6.
4 to 6, okay.
So it was a middle. It's like maybe more than 700 people in this
middle.
area. So it helped us develop the later on stage. But before that, like the slogan of e-youth is called Beyond Potentials.
Okay.
Exactly.
We believe that we have a lot of potentials, but we don't realize it until someone can unleash them. And we believe that e-youth maybe is the beginning or the start that can unleash those hidden potentials to become very successful in the future.
I couldn't agree with you more. Were you guys pleased with the survey results when you saw that?
Yes.
Did you expect that, or were you surprised?
Well, at first we have been very pleased with the results of the survey, as we were targeting 1,200, and we actually got maybe more over that a little bit.
Right.
So we got the target that we needed, and this actually was a very strong push for us to start working and prepare ourselves and prepare the materials of the next stage upon the survey. And actually, it was actually expected that the middle result, the middle stage, will have the larger results.
Okay, that's what you expected statistically.
Yes.
When we had you on the live show, which was a pleasure, and thank you guys for joining me on that
Thank you
program.
very much.
You had talked about, I think Brother Alat said, cutting it up into something about the sections of society. You wanted to reflect the society. And
Exactly.
Go ahead, can you speak about that?
Yes, you know, the main issue behind the survey is just the next step, the camp.
Okay.
The camp is the show, is the real part of e-youth, is the core.
Okay.
So how can I select people for the camp without prior knowledge about the community itself?
Yeah.
So we just simulated the community, like those graph helped us develop the number of people who can participate in the camp and how they are distributed.
Okay. You go ahead.
So in the camp, like 150 participants were selected, and those 150 like were classified from the original like 430 applicants.
Okay.
They were classified according to grading system into A and B and C.
Okay.
A simulating maybe the people with a lot of knowledge in those topics, and maybe B it's the middle, and C it's the low class.
Right.
And we simulated the same maybe percentages like the survey.
Yeah.
So more than 75 people from the middle class B, and like 25 from A, and 20 and the other from C, to be like the society itself.
That actually reflects the survey at the first.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that because it's realistic. You're trying to simulate something realistic, not just bring the most educated and the most elite people of the youth.
And even actually in the internal divisions of the groups, like the 150 participants have been actually divided after that into 18 groups,
Okay.
18 teams to work together
Okay.
after that. And even inside each team,
Okay.
we actually tried as much to make a fair division between the governorates first, the group age second, and
Okay.
actually to meet and reflect the
society.
analysis of the
Yes.
survey third.
Were you able to do that? Were you able to achieve that?
Yes, actually,
Yes,
as
to a large
much as we,
extent.
yeah,
Okay.
as best to.
On your website,
like
go ahead.
eight, like in each team was 10,
Okay.
8 from the participant and 2 from the organizing committee.
They were
the
like
8 were
coaching or
divided,
monitoring
yes.
them.
Okay.
The 8 were divided into 4 and 4.
Okay.
4 from university students and 4 from the school students. The 4
Okay.
from school students, 1 from A and 2 from B and
Great.
1 from C and 1 and so on.
MashaAllah.
Exactly.
So it's-
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the ethnic diversity of Egypt? Did you bring somebody from like Monofea, where my friend Samir is
Yeah.
from? Did you bring somebody from Sinai? Did you bring somebody from Upper Egypt, from Cairo?
Yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
able to bring one person from each?
It covered 26 governorates.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Twenty-
we
26.
have a graph on our website. If
Yeah,
by
what's
way,
the website called?
The website is
URL.
youthegypt.com.
Okay,
dot
so
org,
www.youthegypt.org.
Yeah, and the Facebook page, if you're gonna write in the address, it's gonna be eYouth Egypt, and if you're searching on the Facebook, it's gonna be eYouth.
Yeah, so if you're just searching, it's eYouth. But if you put the URL, you have to put facebook.com/eYouthEgypt.
See,
Exactly.
So you had a graph showing the
Yes,
the
the
with
governorate.
distribution of
we have actually
government.
a pie diagram that shows
Okay.
the distribution of the participants, and we have like 25% from Alexandria, and then
Yes.
a large percentage from Giza, and then
Right.
from Cairo. And then
Okay.
you can find at least 1% from each other
governorate,
governorate.
okay.
Yeah. So we have from Wadi Grid, and we have from
Sinai,
yes,
Everywhere.
exactly.
Upper Asia.
From-
Great. But what about the ethnic diversity of Egypt? Of course, I mean, did you bring a Nubian person? Did you bring like
Yes.
a Bedouin
Yes.
Arab person?
we actually have one of our members in the organization
organizing
committee
committee.
from the Nubian community.
Oh, yeah, great, okay.
Yes.
Now, did you want to prohibit anybody from joining? Like you said, okay, no people from Monofea because they're very, very strange people.
No.
I'm just joking. My
Not that
friends.
way, like no people above 22 years old.
Okay, that was prohibition. All right, you guys stay tuned here. You guys don't go anywhere. We're going to be right
Sure.
back after this short break for more from the co-founders of eYouth. So stay tuned.
Perfect my eyes and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi al-azim. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
In a game of golf, both the caddy and the golfer have the same goal: to get the ball into the hole. Interest-free banking is similar. With a clear view of the fairway, a predefined agreement without shifting targets, things should end up where you want them. Your deposits are safe, and your funds are ethically managed with a transparent and equitable approach to sharing risk and reward. No interest burden means more time to relax without the worry of nasty surprises. Rest assured, our interest is mutual. Jazz Bank, Nigeria's first full-fledged non-interest bank.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah. I'm calling.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. You guys at home don't know, but when we come back from the break, we have this fancy crane that takes a man that operates it to bring it in close, and it's really some great technical handiwork. We want to thank our good friend from 6th of October City, Brother Ihab Abi Yazid, for making that happen, that fancy crane work. Thank you, brother. Having said that, I say that too much. Having said that, in any event, let's go to the studio audience. Brother Abdul Fattah, you were here last time. Thank you for joining me, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Brother, tell me about activism in the youth, and what projects are you in, and being active in your country, Egypt.
Firstly, to be active, you have to start with yourself, simply to find out what you're good at, okay, and start to develop yourself in this field, and help people to be better, just like you. Learn to how to dream and bring their dreams into life. to be announcer of a good news.
Yes.
Don't complain too much, because in complaining too much, you will gain nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, never. Go
No,
ahead.
never mind this. And we have to understand that together we can stand, divided we fall, as they say.
That's right.
That's
But the thing is, the Egyptian youth played such a massive role in the revolution. So people want to know, okay, now what are the youth doing? I mean, what are some practical things the youth in Egypt can do to bring this country to a better place and to improve it?
Okay, that's a very good point. We started the youth in Egypt, started the revolution, and now we cannot find them in the stage on the field of action, because parties is affecting them, divided. As I speak, every man started to take a party,
Right,
to
right.
a political party or something like that, to sing, and they forget the main point, that we have to build ourselves, to
Right.
learn how to be better, to
To improve ourselves, yeah.
prove
mashallah.
ourselves in first.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I certainly appreciate it. I remember during the days of the revolution, I was living back in San Francisco, and I remember turning on the news, and they showed this Egyptian person, like a younger guy, and they were cleaning the streets,
Yes.
wallah azim, with a broom
Yes.
and a scooper, and they were painting the curbs red, and they said, this is our country, we took it back, and we're free, and we're so happy,
Exactly.
and we're going to take care of this country. I
Yes.
said, Allahu Akbar, I was so happy, wallahi.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not even Egyptian. I told my wife, look at this is amazing. I never thought I'd see this day.
Yes.
But now it's a revolution, and we're back to the same.
Yeah.
But this is where the youth can come in. I say that you should get together and make charity NGOs, organizations, to help clean up and pick up the streets.
Yes.
Oh, Allah, I think this is something very positive.
Yes.
Let's go to the brother in the back then, the suit. Alaikum
Alaikum
salam. brother.
My name is Yahya. I am from Alexandria.
All right, mashallah. We're in Alexandria, brother.
Well, actually, a typical answer would be all of Alexandria is mine. But anyway, I live in the west of Alexandria.
In the west, what city?
Yeah, in Hanoville.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes,
My grandmother's from Mandara.
Mandara,
The
Agdam,
other
I should
side,
say,
I
yes,
think,
the,
yeah.
the best of people.
I think that Alexandria is much better than Cairo, mashallah.
Yes, indeed, yes. Yeah,
Brother, what can
definitely
the
agree with
youth
you.
do in Alexandria and Egypt and to improve this country?
Yes, I do believe that the major issue we suffer from here in Egypt is mediocrity. We are not, alhamdulillah, we are not the worst, but still we are not the best. So actually that leads us no way. So the key answer to all these issues is that we start taking whatever we do seriously. So whatever you do, if you take it seriously, you will get there. I really admire the story you mentioned at the beginning of this episode of your friend who was teaching English, because this is the only thing he has.
Yeah.
So he had to offer to the society. We have a very nice Arabic not proverb, but saying that says zakatul ilm al ilm kulli. The alms of knowledge is all of knowledge. So whatever you do is that you start, you learn and then you teach. This is what you have to do. So
Yeah, mashallah.
so and this only comes if you do things seriously.
Yeah,
For me, I do actually I am. Linguistics is my major, so I participate in language exchange programs. I teach Arabic, study English and French, and exchange language. So this is the thing I can offer to the community right now up to the
Great,
this stage.
thank you, brother.
So
Parlez-vous français, quand même, Inshallah? Parlez-vous français?
oui, monsieur, je parle
Oh,
français,
okay,
yeah.
no problems. But I want to tell you, but by the way, that brother told me, he said there's nothing better I could do to teach these small Muslim kids English, because I can benefit a small Muslim person and help him grow and give him a skill. So this is very good.
Yeah.
And I want to emphasize for the viewers as well, we're talking about Egypt because we're based in Egypt, and this is a wonderful youth organization that's benefiting
Thank you
Egypt.
very much.
But it's just a case study for youth activism in general, because we want to help all people everywhere. So perhaps people can take from your example. Egypt is a very important country in the Muslim world. It's a leader in the Muslim world, so that's why we're talking about it. But we want the viewers from America and Europe to know we're also talking to them as well,
Yes,
inshallah. So let's go
inshallah.
back to you guys over here, okay?
Sure.
You were talking about, in the previous segment, the camp. You conducted a survey. You took a sample group of these people, which was a very nice way you did that. Now you put them in a camp. What is the purpose of this camp? What did you guys do in the camp?
Well, actually, the camp is the major stage in youth, and it aims for the empowering stage. Like we have started to engage them,
Right.
and now we have to empower them. So the whole idea is about giving this 150 participants that we have some professional sessions about social projects, how can they do that. We have ethics as well, sessions about it.
Okay.
We have to teach them how to make social projects, how to generate their ideas, and at the same time we have to look at the decision-making side, team-building skills, and these all stuff. So if we are gonna talk about the camp, we're gonna say that 150 participants are coming with volunteers. They have sessions and they have workshops and they have activities at the day and afternoon.
But where was the camp? How many days was it? Where did you guys sleep?
Sure.
This whole thing.
Well, the camp was a class camp for 7 days, and it was in the educational city in 6th of October.
Okay.
And we were staying at the educational city. They have like hotels there.
Okay.
So we used them to.
For how many days, brother?
It was 7 days.
And what does closed camp mean for the people that don't know? Closed camp.
Closed camp is that we are camping in the educational city for the 7 days. We don't go outside, but all the activities and all the sessions is inside.
Not even parents come.
Parents actually come,
Okay.
but one of the days of the camp and for another purpose that we're going to talk about.
Okay, great. Okay, so
Yeah.
that was the camp. Okay, so talk about some of the
Yes,
projects.
and the camp was divided like in the day in the camp was divided into 3 main pods. The first pod in the morning, it was like a general session about a general topic like social entrepreneurship in general.
You bring a lecturer or
Yeah, a
something?
lecturer, exactly,
Oh,
a
okay.
professor also. And the second pod, which is like at noon, it was about like the workshop pod. The workshop, the smaller groups, like 3 teams per group, and they start talking about maybe more specific topics to start developing their project, starting
Okay.
from the vision through mission and goals, objectives, and even the action plan and budgeting and so on.
And everything.
Great, yeah.
And the last part of the day was just the implementation part. The team, the small team, sit together and start working by their hands. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, they just upload what they have written or what they have achieved to their profile on the internet. So we
Okay.
have on our website the 18 projects in details from A to Z.
Who made that daily schedule? Did you guys?
Yes,
Beforehand-
we developed all
Yeah.
the schedule, the curriculum. We had our handout and our curriculum book and everything. We did it
The
as youth.
sessions and everything.
Not only both of us,
Everything.
the whole team.
The whole team,
yeah,
whole team.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
exactly,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
What was the wisdom of doing it that way, of scheduling the day that way? What were you trying to teach the kids? Because it's a very busy day and a lot of work.
Yes.
I imagine you're teaching them, responsibility, accountability,
Yes.
punctuality.
Exactly.
Yeah, all these things that I think that really were great. Okay, so by the way, the organizing team, give us some names because I know when I had you on the live show, you were thanking them.
We
Yeah.
actually have a lot, and we don't want to forget anyone.
A lot of
them.
people, like
Yeah. We have a lot
Too
of
many
them.
to say. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If
Yes,
we're gonna
like-
start
like
with
in-
anyone, we're gonna say all of them.
Okay,
Like
okay.
in the reporting team, Shadwa, Radwa, and Mustafa, and in the logistics team, Alaa, Amr, Umniya, a lot of
Ahmed,
people.
You can't even
Ahmed,
name them.
yes,
Ahmed,
a lot of
Abdul.
people, like more than 50 people
Yeah.
Yeah,
participated.
subhanallah. So all these guys and you guys work together for some time to make this happen. So
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
we're
Well,
very
actually,
grateful for all of them.
the main goals that we needed to come out from the camp with is many things. The first is to make a system for these people, like teach them that their life has to be based on a system, that they have to, like starting from the sleeping time, the getting up hours, and playing sports during the day,
Yeah.
at the morning, having lunch at a time, and everything. We need to have a
Do you
system in
think
our life.
do you think that's lacking amongst the youth?
That's actually very lacking in days right now,
Yeah.
because most of the youth stay late and they don't have plans for the day. Just whatever a call come to them, they just go out. So
Right.
we need to
Yeah.
make a that's
I remember those
that's
days
so
myself.
right
I
actually.
was
Yeah,
laughing,
yeah. And but actually we have to get better. We have to
Yeah.
plan our day ahead. We have to make like
a schedule for ourselves.
Exactly.
Set goals,
exactly.
reach goals.
Yes,
Yeah, I couldn't
this
agree
is
more.
one of the goals that we needed to come out from the camp. And the second
Yeah.
thing is, like we said, the goals is teach them how to make a democratic lifestyle in terms of decision making and team building and respecting ideas and mutual respect in debating and
Right.
such stuff.
So this was a social change. It wasn't
Yes,
like a political
exactly.
thing.
No,
You were
no,
away
it
from
wasn't.
the politics.
We
Yeah,
are
it was
away-
very good.
Yeah, we were away from the politics, and the actually the third thing that I want to point out is the engaging them in this on the society, and that's the main point. Like teaching them how you need to volunteer, you need to give some of your time to the society back to make Egypt better. And the innovative thing in the camp is that the participants were the ones who were generating the ideas, not us. We have planned the schedule, we have planned the sessions and the topics that we're going to talk about and everything, but the ideas of the projects and the ideas of the solutions that they are offering to this community is coming out from the participants themselves.
Okay, that's
Exactly,
an excellent
exactly.
point. Go ahead.
And when you asked Ahmed about the parents, they came in the last day in what we
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
seniors orientation day.
Okay.
We brought some of the parents of the students, of the participating students, to see their sons and daughters after the camp.
Okay.
They already know them before it,
Yes.
but after the camp, what's the change? What happened to them during this week?
Yeah.
And they were very impressed
MashaAllah.
by the development and their characters and so on. At the last day of the camp, there was a competition between the 18 projects to choose like the best 3 or 4 projects to
Okay.
give them some more funds to start implementing
To
it in
actually
society.
do the project.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's not about just teaching them stuff and theoretical stuff and just letting them in the community.
Yes,
It's about
yes.
taking them into
Great
into
point.
practice.
Great
Yeah.
point, brother.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like just to add the one point to the what Ala said about the orientation day of the parents. We actually brought some teachers as well as our vision that we needed to make the whole surrounding environment of the learning process for the students and the participants would be complete. As we talked with the parents and the teachers as well as about the learning process, about encouraging them to do activities with the studies, because most of the parents today. Actually, there's 2 types. Some of the parents who help their children to do activities during the time of the
Summer vacation.
study, and so like mine and like Ala's and like
Right.
many others, and some others like they think that the activities will be a negative impression on the
On the
study,
grades,
and so
yeah.
Yes.
and that's actually not right, because if you looked at the schools, the high schools and the preparatory schools, and so you'll find that the top of the classes, they are going into activities. If you went to the universities, I finished alhamdulillah engineering, and Ala is in medicine, so they're good faculties and universities.
Right, of course.
And you'll find that the top of the classes are always engaged.
Yes.
They are always activities,
Yeah.
because activities actually bring
Yeah.
more ideas to the mind. They make
Yeah.
connectivity. It makes the person higher
Yeah.
in a character and also in skills.
Yeah, it enhances your
Exactly.
intelligence. And if you look at the universities, when you apply to them, they always say, what are your extracurricular activities?
Yes.
Exactly.
But parents here, they think, okay, just study, no sports, no activities.
Yes.
So this is, I think, is a mistake.
Yes.
Before we talk about you talked a little
The
bit about
projects,
the
yes.
projects, okay?
Yeah.
So out of all the projects, you had to pick the top 4.
The top
Exactly.
4, yes.
So,
exactly.
so who picked the projects? Why did you pick them? And what were they? Once we establish that, we'll end up taking a break and we'll complete about who was the winner. So let's just answer
Okay.
those questions.
You know, we made like a judging committee
Okay.
to evaluate the projects in details, the written proposal and the presentations at the last day of the camp. And after the camp, we made our decision as a team to pick up the best 4 projects to give them the e-youth mini grant or the funds.
Okay.
The first project was Baladiyatna.
Okay.
Baladiyatna is like our countryside or our
Right.
village.
Our village. Yeah.
It's mainly to develop a village people
Yeah.
to help them get some money and at the same time help the tourists to see other stuff like other than monuments and at
Yeah.
the same time they can give some souvenirs and so
Yes, I like that
handmade.
very much.
Yeah.
they did it in Saqqara.
Right.
It's
Saqqara
near
village and
the
the way of the
pyramids.
pyramids.
Yeah.
Yes, and the second project was called Wake Up. Wake Up is about establishing a university initiative to help youth discovering their talents
Okay.
and to maybe some performing some talents and so on. And the third one is called Take a Challenge. Take a Challenge is discussing sexual harassment in Egypt.
Great.
They were very creative. They made a great video. They made campaigns in the metro stations, and they
even
made some.
Went out to the street and they talked with
Yeah.
the people. And
Okay, I'm getting offended. I'm a man.
well, actually,
I'm yelling at people. What are you doing? What are you looking at? Stop talking.
Yes.
well, actually, they were very innovative, just to be not offensive for the people
Yes.
and for the
Yeah.
regular people and for the
Subhanallah.
minds here. So they were talking in a funny way, and they made like brochures.
Where
and
can we see
videos.
those on YouTube? We can see them on YouTube?
Yes,
What should we
and they-
punch in to get that?
Like Take a Challenge. They have the video on YouTube, but on their page, Facebook page, everything is there. It's Take a Challenge.
It's called,
Yes.
it's facebook.com/takeachallenge.
I think it's tag.
I think the best way to communicate with these projects is through the page of
Okay.
e-youth.
Okay, which is www.youth.org.
EYouth.org, that's the website, and
Okay.
on the Facebook it will be Facebook/EYouth Egypt,
Okay.
and this is the page.
Okay, you guys, we're going to take a short break, and after
Sure.
that break, we're going to come back to the studio audience and see how many of the kids or the youth are going to join e-youth next round, and we're going to figure out what project won and why. You guys at home, stay tuned for more Let's Talk.
Perfect my Allah is and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I really like the example he gives in that clip
Yeah.
about the guy stuck in traffic. You know, he thinks that it's just, it takes it personal, which brings us to the point that a pessimist is very subjective when it comes to negative things that happens in his life.
But for example, if you are talking to me about doing something good in life and you are on the bed of death, that you want to do something for your ummah. This is why we did this program, to make you get your achievable goals before you reach the moment that you will not be able to achieve anything.
SubhanAllah, if I may add,
If I have a positive attitude, and if I have courage, why it doesn't appear in all the problems that I face? Why it doesn't appear in all what I do in my life? Actually, because you are not responsible enough to control your mindset.
I was reading a study on New York government. They wanted to improve the crime rate. They wanted to lower the crime rate, ultimately. And they found that in the subways, there was a lot of graffiti, a lot of trash. And just by doing a little thing, like removing the trash and removing the graffiti and making a more clean environment, the crime rate actually lowered. So this shows the power that how little things can really make a big difference.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Thank you for watching us at our all-new time, 9 p.m. Mecca time every Friday. We certainly appreciate it. We hope that you appreciate also that it's in the prime time. We're talking about engaging, empowering the youth with my good friends from E-Youth and our friends in the studio audience. Let's start in the studio audience. Does anybody have a question? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Really, you impressed me with the organization, with the idea, with everything.
Thank you.
I have just one question, which is the most important thing. Following up with the students, following up with the projects. Like, you know, did you have any kind of following up thing?
No, regarding the projects, we already did a follow-up. We continued following them until they, nearly all of them, achieved their projects. But the students, the participants, we just followed with them on our group. There was a special group, it's a secret one, on Facebook, to just discuss with them the improvement. I'd like to tell you, like, more than 45 out of the 150 who participated engaged in some new activities.
Yes.
Which is very impressive. Like, more than 30% of people just after 1 week they can achieve all this. It's very
we have
impressive
actually
for
a link on the page if you can communicate through the page. We have a link on the page that Ale actually had give a question on the Facebook page for the participants, like, tell me your achievements after E-Youth, tell me your achievements, and you'll find that all the comments that I have been engaged in so activity and so activity and so activity, so it has a good impact. And like I said, we left like 3 months for the projects to be implemented and followed up with them. And for the other participants, we made a conference. It's like a closing conference called the E-Youth Paying Forward Conference. This is where all the E-Youths came back together once more. They meet up together once more. And we actually have had a lot of events that we're going to talk about.
And you just let me point out, like, the fourth project, because we missed talking about it. It's called Mushroom Home. They did a very good idea of helping handicapped people, 2 handicapped families indeed. They taught them how to how to plant mushroom in their homes, and how just to back it, and after that they sell it in the market. So it's very, very impressive to help the community. So a social project to develop some benefit for those handicapped families. and surprisingly enough, like even some projects he didn't get the funds, the grant, and
they were very motivated
applied,
to do it.
they applied the project, and, they succeeded.
This project is called أنا أولى بحلاوتها in Arabic, which means I deserve it better. And they're talking about the internal tourism of Egypt here. The problem that they raise is that many of the Egyptians, they do not know the touristic sites or the historic sites.
It's so true. We drive by the pyramids every day, but nobody visited them.
Exactly. Even if they are living inside the area of the touristic sites, but we never visited. So what they did is that they started to organize themselves like trips for touristic sites, and they bring some of their friends and some of the students who for like they study history or something, and they can tell them more information about this place, what's the history of it, what's the touristic sites in this place. So by this they deserve it better.
I like that.
But
I like that a lot.
The part I liked in this project, during the trip to the touristic place, in the bus, they bring someone to teach the participant who they didn't know each other about maybe leadership skills, about presentation skills. So it's a soft skills session inside the bus till they reach the touristic site. So
that's nice. Where can we contact them? Where can the viewers find these guys?
They have
a link on your site?
A link on our Facebook page as well, and they have their own page.
Yeah, I like that, because we drive by the pyramids every day, and most of my Egyptian friends say, I never even visited the pyramids.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes if you try to go to the beach places before the revolution, if you had a beer, they didn't even let you in. So, but now things have opened up, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Let's go back to the audience. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, what I like to say here, that I met many young people think that there is no hope here in Egypt. Okay, the only solution for them to travel abroad.
Yes, this is a bad idea. They always say this, yes.
So I like to say to them that there is still hope. Look at this studio here. We have Malik. His main issue.
They're going to leave the church.
His main issue is, in first place, youth. Okay, and we hear our brothers here. Their main issue is youth and how to be better. Okay, and we hear our friend here, Abdullah, the founder of a team called Spread Your Skills (SYS), working in the same field to do.
Oh, mashallah.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us that, brother? Great.
Well, actually, I would like actually to thank him very much for this, for bringing this idea. And I'd like actually to add something, that the hope is actually in the youth because of something. If you went to these schools, the high schools or the preparatory schools, you will find that there's a lot of activities in each school. They are acting, they are showing up talents, they are painting even the trees inside the schools or something. If you went to the universities, any university right now in Egypt, you definitely will find activities. If not even, if not many, you will find at least one. If you went out to the community, you will find the biggest organizations like Risala or Alashani Kabalidi, the most famous ones. You'll find that all the volunteers inside are youth. So the hope actually in youth, and youth actually are doing something. They are not just watching. There are some are watching and they are losing hope. But if you will look at the bright side, you will find that most of the youth are doing something.
And this is our human resources in Egypt and in other Muslim countries, because where the United States, the population is declining, only increasing because of immigration, and the demographic shows that people are getting older. We still have the youth to make a difference. So I certainly like that. Before we go back, go ahead, brother.
Okay, that's what I say. That, and our brother here, Yahya, working in language exchange programs, and our friend here, member of Risala, and charitable organization. There's still hope. I agree with them that the condition now in Egypt is not quite good as we want, but nobody will make it for us. We will. I believe that we deserve better, as my friend here said, but nobody will make it for us. We will make it. We will make it for ourselves.
Inshallah.
That's what I like to say.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, brother. I certainly appreciate it. Let's go now to the four groups really quickly. The first group that won was our village.
Yes, our village, Baladiyatna.
And let me talk about the first one first. They went to Saqqara, which was it's like a pyramid, a location.
It's a small village
with pyramids.
near the pyramids. Yes.
So the concept, if I'm correct, was to bring the tourists to a real countryside town, a village, to see the real life in Egypt, where they can. And then you went to the locals and let them make a handicraft item in order to sell it to the tourist. So the tourist who was going to buy a T-shirt anyways that says "I love Egypt," instead he bought something real nice, something homemade from Egypt. And the villager then also benefited by by the Prophet.
And
he
even
worked.
food as well, not just souvenirs,
Even
and
food.
even food.
So this achieved its purpose. The people were happy, the villagers were happy, and the tourists were happy?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Maybe also talent shows with the horse and something.
Yeah.
The main concept is that they also want the tourists to live the oriental life of the
Right,
countryside people.
right, yeah.
They wanted to know about them, not only the temples and the tourists and the
Yeah. And
pyramids.
it develops a local industry as well,
Yes,
so that's
and,
good.
and it's made in Egypt.
Yeah, it really is made easier.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, finally. not
So
in
why did
China.
you guys pick that one as the winner? That was the winner, right?
Yes,
This is
it's
one of the four
winners.
winners.
Oh, one of the 4 winners. Okay, and you felt that was just the most effective. It was a very effective one.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very effective
Okay.
indeed.
And so let's talk briefly also about the second one again.
Second one is Wake Up,
The Wake Up, which was,
just establishing an organization dealing with youth talents in
Okay.
university.
and why were you so impressed with that one? Why did you pick it? There were so many to choose from.
You know, they have a big dream of establishing like a non-governmental organization,
Right.
and they're just a very ambitious group. So
Okay.
we
And
just
the
need
idea
to
actually
give
was
them the chance
innovative as
To
well.
do it.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
And the third one, Mushroom Home.
it's Mushroom Home.
And
It's
why were
about-
you impressed with that?
Actually, I guess that they were one of the top ideas because many things. The first one is that mushroom planting is very easy.
Okay.
It's not very costing,
Okay.
and at the same time, it grows fast. So the process can be repeated
Okay.
very fast.
Right.
And at the same time, they are targeting handicapped
Yeah.
person, so
Yeah.
they can help them.
Yeah.
And also the project turns around itself again. Like the profit of the project goes for the second round for planting mushrooms once more, and then
Right.
getting some other. So it was actually realistic. It can be.
Yeah. I agree with you, especially with the fact that they are handicapped people, because there's no social services, there's no help for these people. And so this is a way to give them a way to sustain themselves.
Yes,
Exactly.
And the final fourth one was, did we mention the fourth one?
Take a challenge.
Take a challenge,
about
which was?
sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and that was very nice. We had spoken about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the winners. You mentioned a group that didn't receive the funds.
Yes,
But they
and
went
they
forward
already
and,
implemented
They
the
were for
project.
the
Yeah, they-
internal tourism one.
Yeah, subhanAllah, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. Now it's finished. Everybody was so happy to be EUTN, and they did their project and they had a
Yeah.
good time. So, and it took you some time to implement it, several months of preparation and surveys.
Yeah.
So this is it for e-youth?
No, well, actually, I would like to talk about the closing conference.
Okay,
It
oh,
was-
that's right, go ahead.
Yeah, it was called the e-youth Paying Forward Conference. And the main idea of the conference was not only a closing conference and a ceremony, and that we will say...
A celebration
yeah,
and all this sort
celebrations
of
and
stuff, right.
This was one kind, but
Right.
at the same time we wanted to give more to the youth. And we wanted to take of them out more. So we actually made 2 events, one of them called Talk from the Heart, and the other one was the EUTN talent show.
Okay.
The first one, Talk from the Heart, it's like the idea of TEDx or something that people that have a story to share or something to learn for the people or something
Okay.
they would like to share with the participants.
Okay.
They can come and talk about it. This actually gives a lot of confidence for the youth, and they share ideas, and this actually encourage the youth to speak up of
Yeah.
their mind.
Yes, mashallah.
And the second event about the talent show, that was amazing, and most of the people were very happy with it. If someone is very strong in telling poem or giving a song or even a little show on the theater or something, so that was an opportunity for them to give the talents out from the youth.
Right. So you had people doing songs with no music or poets doing their poetry. So this was a nice way.
Exactly.
So it was very fun for everyone. Inshallah.
Exactly.
Okay,
And
yeah,
it was actually a good chance for us to revise and tell the people more about the whole process for e-youth and the stages for it, and to remind people with what the projects did,
Okay.
and to keep up with them, and so.
And you've already, that was some time ago, so you
It's
completed.
just it was a Mosh in
Okay.
16th
of
of this
March.
Mosh.
Oh, okay,
It's the
okay.
last one.
Okay.
And there's a whole hour about the winning projects.
Okay.
The 5 projects have presentations
Oh, great.
to show the audience. 2 things, the participants of the talent show and from the Heart Talks weren't just from e-youth, it was from e-youth and outside e-youth. We want to
Okay.
engage people from the community
Oh,
as well.
mashallah. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second one is like more than 350 people participated in the conference.
Okay.
Most of them weren't e-youthians, just
Oh.
heard about e-youth from their friends and their
So
communities.
they wanted to come and
Oh,
hear
mashallah.
about
So it was a push for us to like announce the sustainability of the project for season 2 and so on.
Yeah.
So it was a good idea.
So now let's talk about it then, season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
When are you guys planning the season 2? When will it be? What stage of preparation are you in now? How will it be different than the first year? Will it be exactly the same?
Okay.
How are you going to build on that? Do you have the funds
It's
for
not
that?
going to be the same in the same way. It will be a bit different. We will not start with a survey because we already know the survey results.
Yes.
We will start with a different process of like first recruiting a larger team of youth and establishing a big organization for us.
Okay.
And after that, we'll have a campaign all over Egypt, spreading the knowledge about youth and the concepts of youth. Meanwhile, we can give some sessions to people there because
Right.
we can't bring everyone to Cairo
the camp,
and to the camp.
Right,
So we need to give them some knowledge as well.
Exactly.
And later on will be the camp and the orientation day. And
So it's actually planned to be once a year.
Okay, great.
So
And
right
you
now,
secured the funds?
we're right
We are
now
working
we're
on it.
Inshallah.
we're working in
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
we are discussing new ideas, and so we're
Okay.
even thinking of getting out from not only Egypt and searching, reaching out for some participants
Yeah.
from maybe
Middle
North
East
Africa or
and-
Middle
yeah.
East or
And
something.
we need to get the Huda TV cameras there.
sure.
Yeah,
We
sure.
do interviews, wallah,
That would be
inshallah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice to do a youth we need more youth stuff on the program
That
and on
would
the
be
channel
amazing.
in general. Really quickly, we only have about a minute and a half left. Were there any mistakes that you guys made the first year that you said, you know what, we have to not repeat that mistake? Is there anything that do you know what I mean? I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's part of
It's not
analyzing
mistakes.
what happened, you know?
It's
Well,
not
not mistakes, something that you
more,
would-
more than
would
even
change.
challenges.
No,
that we-
the first thing I think all the participants will talk about is the food.
yeah,
We need to make the food maybe
yeah,
more
kind of better preparation or something.
and I want to make it more organic as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you can develop an idea for this. And a second part, we need maybe to add more ideas about social entrepreneurship in more details, in depth.
Okay.
And we can bring more inspirational speakers to
Yes.
the
Exactly.
summit.
Yeah, and now maybe you can book them easier because you've had a successful season.
Exactly.
now they're more
So we
likely
can
to come.
announce and
maybe we can bring
exactly.
some guys from Hood TV also.
Yeah.
Sure,
What,
sure.
what did you have?
We can
anything-
also introduce reading sessions in the
Yes.
camp
Yeah.
just to encourage the reading culture in our
Yeah.
society. Start to increase the culture of reading.
Yeah, we
And,
need that in the Middle East.
Exactly.
People don't read. Oh, wallahi,
Exactly.
people don't read.
So
we have
we,
to
we
begin
need to
this.
introduce this in our second season.
Inshallah. I really admire you guys. I wish when I was your age,
Thank
I
you
was
very
doing
much.
positive things like you guys are doing now. Unfortunately, the episode's over. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to you guys enough. But I want to remind everybody, myself, you guys here, the viewers at home, to look up eYouth on Facebook. Brother, give me the addresses again. If you're searching on Facebook, it's search for eYouth.
eYouth.
Just
yes.
eYouth,
If you're
one
putting
word.
one
If
word.
if you're putting it in the address bar, it's going to be www.facebook.com/eYouthEgypt.
And what about your website itself?
It's eYouthEgypt.org.
Okay, eYouthEgypt.org. You guys heard it here first on Let's Talk
Yes.
with the co-founders of eYouth. Certainly support these brothers who's doing great work.
Thank you.
So
very
until
much.
next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Perfect my Allah is and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, Allah, I'm calling your name, Allah, I call you, I need you, Allahu Akbar, Allah, your mercy is great.